Class in session.
On a rainy day, too. Yeah, we'll be outside. Y'all gonna come watch us practice outside? Shit, we indoors. Yes, sir.
When you get to the end of the line on a season like this, and it's it's going to be the last game. What's typical of how a team approaches that?
Well, I know how we're gonna approach it. We're gonna finish. We're gonna play our best football. We're gonna be excited. We're gonna have passion. We're gonna have pride. We're gonna have poise, and we're gonna let it hang out. We're gonna let it loose. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna play good football.
You're early in the film study. What are the biggest differences that you've noticed from the Broncos week 1 and now week 18 finishing against the same team you started against?
Defensively, they're playing really well. They're playing really well defensively, and I think offensively, obviously, there was a change of quarterback. But you see a team that's being physical up front. We know Stidham very well. Obviously, there's some things there that he's doing really well. They did well last week, and I think overall as a team, they've gotten better. It was a team that was, oh my God, what's happening to them, and now they're playing really good football.
AP, you've never had anything given to you. You've earned and worked for everything you had. And I know that you're staying focused on the team, but you also have ears. Your players have come out very supportive of you, wanting you to get the job. I'm just curious, what does that respect from that locker room mean to a guy who was always known as a locker room guy as a player?
Yeah, you earn respect, right? It's not given, you earn it, and obviously I'm still in that process of earning that respect. And at the end of the day, like I said, they'll show and I'll show what we do on the grass. That's the bottom line. That's what we're all being evaluated on, what we do on Sundays, on game day, and I appreciate their support, and we'll let the chips fall where they fall at the end of the season.
From the spot you came before you were Interim, have you learned anything more about Maxx Crosby that you already didn't know?
He's really, 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 really good. I wish obviously our season went a little bit better because guys that get the awards in the season, they're probably on playoff teams, right? And I don't think it can go unsaid that he should be mentioned as one of the best defensive players in football and should be nominated for that award. And if he gets it, I don't know. But when you watch a defensive end and defensive player play every snap, the way he plays, full blown gas, all he has, leaving it out there, that's impressive. You don't see that a lot, especially when football players tap out more than often.
What's your evaluation of Aiden since he became the starter?
I think he's got better each and every week. I think there's been some good, there's some bads. I think one thing he's really done a good job of the last couple weeks is taking care of the football.
Josh Jacobs, I know last couple games he's been trying to give it a go before kickoff. Is it more of a situation, has he been medically cleared yet, or is it just a pain tolerance?
I think it's just him fighting through it. I mean, it's one of those deals with the quad and I'm not a medical guy. If he's not able to go full strength, there's no need to put him out there and risk further injury. And I know him, he's going to fight again all the way to the end. So to answer that question, we're going to be day to day, and then we'll see on game day. But, just like last week, we go out there and he gives it a try. If it's good, he goes. If it's not, he does not.
When you were a player, when did the emotions start to hit in when you realized that it was the last week of the season and everyone in that locker room right now is not going to be in the locker room next season?
Yeah, I mean, I never knew when I was going to retire. So I played every game like, it was my last anyway. So it didn't matter if it was the first or the last. So I expect our guys to do the same. That's what I talked to them about. Everything's going to come to the end. And hopefully you like to be in that game in the Super Bowl, right? In Vegas. That's not going to happen this year for us. But what we do going forward is very important. And that's not just for the Raiders, it's for us individually as well. Your resume is each and every week. You get paid to play 17 games in an 18-week season, and that's what we'll do.
How valuable has this experience been for you the last couple of months, and what your appetite on wanting to do this now full time?
Yeah, you always want more. You want more. But learning, humble, honored. You understand the peaks and the valleys. As a player, you learn it more as a head coach. But I think one thing you do is you appreciate the people that you work with each and every day. And that's one thing that I've come to understand a little bit more and appreciate a little bit more, of not taking it for granted, which I haven't, and just being thankful for the opportunity.
Coach Pierce, what do you make of what goes through your mind? What do you make of it when you hear this is such a sought-after, head coaching job, and there's other big names being reported and thrown around there? What goes through your mind when you hear about that?
Why wouldn't it be? It's the Raiders we're talking about. Best of the best.
You said it's looked a certain way, the way you've won as head coach. Is that just as important to you that there's other coaches that may be able to also win here like you can, but that you do it the Raider way? And
I'll let people that kind of judge that. I know I know my style, my identity that I'm looking for. the product that we want to put on the field. And again, that's something that you want to grow on and continue to grow. But I'll leave all that for discussion for everybody else.
Braylon Edwards told me you taught him to always be learning and that you helped him mature and grow into the man he is. I'm curious, what have you learned over the last 9 weeks about Antonio Pierce?
Patience. Stay true to yourself. Don't change because somebody's opinion or what they think is right. Go with your gut. I mean, there's a reason I was put in this position by Mr. Davis. Obviously, he felt good about it at the time to do it. And I know who I am and what I believe in and how football looks. I know what it takes to win. I know what it looks like to win. And to me, just staying true to that.
You mentioned the name Jarrett Stidham earlier with respect to this matchup, and obviously he's somebody that has had a history with this team. When you see the locker room and the buzz kind of surrounding that, is it different in their approach than it would be, if it were Russell Wilson, or you look at it the same?
Yeah, that's kind of hard to talk about the locker room. I really don't know. I mean, I'm sure, there was a little spark there last week, but I can't really go into detail about their locker room. I'm sorry.
Just in general, though, the players kind of get up differently for somebody with more familiarity, especially someone who was here last year.
Oh, for our guys, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we're excited. Yeah, we're excited to see him. Yeah. We miss him. We want to see him up close and personal. Maxx Crosby.
You mentioned
Smart did Maxx provide? You were talking about him as well. Like when they had the long touchdown last week, and Maxx kind of gathered all the defensive players around on the sideline. Like, how does that help you as a coach, having a player that kind of gets that spark?
I love it. I've always loved to see the players take control, especially on game day. When they're between the white lines and in control. Obviously, as coaches, we're getting information that they need to either fix a play or, continue to do better. And when there's a problem or you feel a certain way, and as a captain, as a leader in the face of this organization, it was a proud moment for me to see. Because I was talking to Spill, and I was wondering why I was getting pulled away. He told me, get the F away. I didn't know what was going on. I thought I did something wrong, but he gathered the troops, and they had their conversation, which, is really good to see. And, you like to see that amongst your whole team, offense, defense, special teams. But obviously from a guy like Maxx, who's young, and obviously he's grown into be a really, really good football player, but also a really good leader in the man.
Patrick Graham got emotional, said this was his funnest team he's ever been around and coached. And I'm just curious for you, is that emotion there with you as you come to the end of this season? Where have you thought of these guys? You've been on so many teams.
Yeah, I love football, right? This is my first love, is football. And you love being around the guys. You love being in the locker room. That's why you come back. As a former player, you want to be back in the locker room. You want to be back around the coaching staff. You want to be in meetings like this. You want to be on the grass. You want to be on these wet, rainy days and outside playing football. Because once it's gone, and I never take it for granted. And what does it mean for me? Is it emotional? No, because I never took it for granted. Each and every day, each and every moment, I sit there and I embrace, and, I look up in the skies and, thank the people that have been there for me, and my mother and my grandmother and people like that are not here. So, man, I love it. It's almost like the last days of school, And that last week, you're like, man, come on, and you realize you don't see your buddies no more for the summer, right? And you're going to see them again later in spring. And that's the kind of feeling I told our guys, look, let's have fun doing it. Let's embrace and love one another, dap each other up these last couple of days, and go out there and put a show on Sunday.
On November 1st, you and Champ sat up here and sent a message to Raider Nation about being there for that Giants game, and you wanted to see Allegiant Stadium packed. What would you send message to Raider Nation right now for Week 18, where they might be a little down because the season didn't go the way that they wanted?
Well, I don't think they'll be down. I think they're excited. I'm excited. They should be excited by watching our team play because they haven't quit. Each and every quarter, each and every game, they've given it their best and their all. So no, it's not a disappointment. We'll see you again, and we'll see them on Sunday, and they'll be loud, and we'll hopefully put on a show, and they'll be cheering, and that bad boy will be rocking and rolling again because that's what we want Allegiant Stadium to be like.
Antonio, a couple of years ago, Hunter Renfrow was a 100-catch guy. Last couple of years, it hasn't worked out to that extent for him. Do you feel like there's still a place for him in the NFL to be a highly productive player?
He's still a Raider, so he's still got a place here. I think it's been obvious since I've taken over what I thought of him and the opportunities that he's having and given. And he's making the most of them. There's some really good moments there, but he's an NFL caliber wide receiver. He's a starting receiver. He's a really good football player. And we'll see what the future holds.
That's good.
Cool.
Thank you.